In 2015, over 33,000 people died from opioid addiction. And this is an extreme atrocity that can be avoided. And I think as individuals, it's important that we don't take these over-the-counter medications. There's so many productive people that I've known that have died who have so much potential because, they were maybe in an accident or, had some sort of disability, that they're prescribed medication because they're going through pain that ultimately killed them because it had some sort of opioid in it, and it led to further and further drug use that was cheaper. Learning to deal with the physical realities of your disabilities can sometimes be the most important thing that the person that does have a disability can do. I know over-the-counter medication can be a big thing, especially if you have physical pain or emotional pain, depression, or some sort of disability that would prevent you from living a normal life. A lot of times doctors will prescribe individuals who are going through physical pain or, like I said, depression or mental pain, or, sometimes you can get in an accident, they'll prescribe you opioids because, a lot of times it'll make you feel good, right away. But the problem is sometimes you get hooked on these over-the-counter medications that, a lot of times the insurance will pay for. I'm going to encourage each individual to not take over-the-counter medication, because these over-the-counter medications can be addictive, and they can lead to more powerful, less expensive, more harmful drugs that can ultimately lead to death. And even the over-the-counter medication could, if you use it long enough and you use over the prescribed amount that you're supposed to use. The reason I've always decided not to take over-the-counter medication, I would rather live with cerebral palsy my entire life than be addicted to certain drugs. And plus, a lot of times drug use leads to death. Ultimately destroy the society because people don't behave in a normal, civilized manner when they are hooked on drugs. A lot of times it creates more depression in the long run. People lie, cheat, steal, do a lot of things that they wouldn't normally do had they've not been influenced by drugs, especially if it leads to the heavier drugs. So there's so many circumstances that I can think of that I've known people, who were injured, or a lot of them didn't even have physical disabilities, but they were injured or had something that happened earlier in life and they're prescribed over-the-counter medication. They weren't ever able to get off the medication that they're prescribed to, and then it led to further and further down the drug path. Ultimately, they, died of heroin overdoses. That's a few that I've known. Don't fall into the temptation that you have to use these over-the-counter medications. And if you do, be very responsible with the amount that you do intake, because it's not hard to get addicted to them.